Greetings to one and all. I, Mr. Sambhajirao Suryavanshi, would like it very much to introduce new poem today under the title Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Iskal. I am going to give full explanation and appreciation of the poem by Nissim Iskal. So, from the bottom of my heart, I would like it very much to welcome one and all to the today's PowerPoint presentation on very interesting poem Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Iskal. First of all, I would like it very much to introduce the poem. The poem Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Iskal is about an incident that the poet has not forgotten in his life. It was a night when a scorpion bit his mother, and all the superstitious villagers did irrational things rather than helping her. The poem exposes the superstitions that dominate the minds of Indians and also the motherhood of a lady who just only offer children even in the worst condition. The poem has no rhyme scheme. It has 7 stanzas with a different number of lines in each. Now it's time to go stanza by stanza. The very first stanza, I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. In stanza number 1, the poet says that he remembers well that night when his mother was stung by a scorpion. The poet is of the views that the heavy rains, which lasted for 10 hours, made the scorpion crawl beneath a sack of rice. The last phrase shows the poet's sympathy towards the scorpion. Next stanza is parting with his poison flesh of diabolic tale in the dark room, he risked the rain again. In stanza 2, the poet says that after biting his mother with its diabolic means monstrous tail, the scorpion went back to rain outside again. The poet here shows sympathy as well as anger towards the scorpion. He is very much angry when he talks about its biting and sympathetic when he talks about its going to rain again. Now, the third stanza is the peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of a god 100 times to paralyze the evil ones. My friends, here in this three-lined stanza, the poet says that hearing about the unfortunate incident, villagers rushed towards the poet's house. However, he is not happy with them and calls them swarms of flies who buzz the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one, because all the villagers were having a blind faith. They were superstitious. They had no knowledge of medical, science, and rationality. The fourth stanza is with candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud backed walls, they searched for him, he was not found. They clicked their tongues. With every movement that the scorpion made his poison, moved in mother's blood, they said. In this stanza, the poet says that he wanted to just explain how the villagers searched for the scorpion. With candles, lanterns, torches, all people crowded to the house of the poet and they were trying to find out the scorpion. Every nook and corner of the house was under the survey, under the search. According to him, the villagers began searching for the scorpion, and their shadows themselves seemed to be like a giant scorpion on the mud baked walls. The villagers began searching for the scorpion because they believe that the poison spreads across the body with the movement of scorpion. So, if the latter is stopped and paralyzed, the poison effect can also be controlled. This is a superstition, and Nissim Iskal knows that well. That is why he hates the coming of the villagers to his home. The stanza also depicts the Indianness that prevails in a number of other poems as well. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. May your sufferings decrease the misfortunes of your next birth, they said. May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world. Here in this stanza, the poet says that having failed in finding the scorpion, they begin giving their own interpretations to the biting of the scorpion. Some of them said that his mother's sins, which she committed in her previous birth, as believed in Hinduism, have been forgiven. The others assumed that she is going to die and said that the pain that she is suffering from will decrease the troubles in her next birth. Some other put forward that her good deeds will be balanced against her bad deeds because of the bite of the scorpion. But all these kind of the ideology, all these thoughts were baseless. It has no scientific base at all. This is nothing but blind faith, stupidity, irrationality, inconsideration against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh. Some others said that the poison will purify and refresh her flesh of desire and her spirit of ambition. All of them seem to be in peace, in tranquil condition because of their thoughts of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said, and they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center. The peace of understanding on each face, more candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. Here in this stanza, the poet says that more and more people, all the neighborhood people, rushed towards the poet's house. They came with the candles and lanterns, and it was endlessly raining all night through. His mother is, however, crying out of heavy pains, life taking pains, and she was rolling and twisting onto the mat with severe pains, but nobody cares for her. Blind faith and superstitions prevailed. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid, he even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. Here in the second last stanza of the poem, the poet says, poet's father is a skeptic, rationalist, intellectual, considerate person. He leaves no stones unturned to cure his wife. He uses powder mixture, herb and hybrid to help her recover from the pains and get well soon. He even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and then fires it up. The poet watches the flames of fire burning on the skin of his mother. He also watches the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. The phrase again refers to superstitious people of his village who believe in irrational measures to cure a person. His mother ultimately recovers from the poison after 24 hours. And the last stanza is, my mother only said, thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children. In the last stanza, the poet says that the last line is quite emotional and heart touching. It reflects the motherhood of a lady. The poet says that after recovering from the poison, his mother's words were, thank God. Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children. Even in such condition, his mother remains more bothered, more concerned about the safety and the health of her children. She was least bothered about her health, but she was very much bothered about the safety and health of her children. She thanked God the scorpion did not sting to any one of her children. This is typical Indian mother, and mother accepts all pains, but she wants her children always safe and well protected. So this is what the poem is all about. Before I conclude today's PowerPoint presentation, explanation and appreciation of the poem, I would like to request every one of you to like, share and comment my video. Do subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for my upcoming videos on education, motivation, spoken English, personality development and much more. Till then, stay connected, stay blessed. God bless everyone.